Many years ago, I worked in a camp way up north on Hudson Bay, a camp that studied a wild goose colony. Now, one of the many tasks of the field scientists up there was to put a metal identification tag through the webbed feet of as many goslings. You see my little webbed foot there. I needed to put a tag right between the toes of those goslings, as many of those as we could get our hands upon the goslings. Now, there are two challenges to getting your hands on a gosling to tag it. And the first one is that the goose parents really don't want you anywhere near the nest. So you need to be defensive in your approach. Remain low, crouch down with your hands guarding your head. The second challenge to tagging goslings is the goslings go from egg to tiny ball of fluff that can run faster than you can in a matter of hours. Not only that, as soon as the babies are out of their shells, the whole goose family gets up and leaves the nest. If you miss that short window between egg and hatchling, you are likely to miss your chance to tag that gosling. So, we figured out a bit of a cheat to help us with our work. Every day, we made a circuit past every nest in the colony and checked on the number of eggs. Eventually, an egg would begin to hatch. Now, this started with a little pip, a small crack made by a tiny beak from inside the egg. When a field scientist, like myself, saw this pip, sometimes we might just help nature along a little bit. Amid the vocal and feathered protestations of parental geese, we would pick up the pipped egg, gently peel the shell back, down, and to the right a bit, just enough to reveal a tiny, damp foot. Pull the little webbed toes out ever so carefully, tenderly attach the tag, softly fold the foot back into the egg, place the egg back into the nest, and gingerly walk away from the scene of the crime. In other words, we rushed a miraculous new beginning for the sake of a data point. This Easter is not like every other Easter. We're not crowding into church, orders of service in hand, embracing one another, knowing more or less what's going to happen next. We're not attending a service and funneling home to be with masses of family for a gigantic meal. There are no grandchildren running around our homes and yards in search of colorful eggs. We are, for the sake of our lives and the sake of the lives of those we love and all our neighbors' lives, we are celebrating this holiday of greenly springing and of rebirth. We are celebrating this Easter holiday in solitary and cold electronic fashion. And that's hard. It's really hard. And on top of that, just when we are yearning for a sign that the sun can actually conquer winter, that life can actually conquer death, we are justifiably afraid of sickness, grief, and mortality. We seem to be stuck in the Good Friday mode, stuck in the tomb. And so it is today, perhaps more than ever, that we need the Easter story, however you tell it. Whether you tell the story of Jesus and how he died miserably, lay in a sepulchre for 3 days, and then rose again, or whether you tell the story of the seed that lies buried in the ground, forgotten through the stillness of winter, only to rise with the spring. However you tell the story, you tell the Easter story. In spite of everything going on at the moment, you tell a story of new beginnings, the promise of change, the ever renewing potential for wholeness yet to be. But we can't rush the miraculous new beginning that is to come. We can't cheat nature of April's snow as much as we might like to. Our Easter this year is one of faith. Faith that our liberation from this time of isolation and mourning will come. This is an Easter of faith that tells us that it doesn't matter if death visits us with grief and the world changes us forever. And it doesn't matter if the snow and ice come back year after year after year. This is an Easter to remember that no matter what, spring will always come. Roots spread, seeds break open their dry brown husks and grow into new beginnings again, beginnings that have never happened before. This is an Easter of finding hope when hope is hard to find, the persistence of flowers, receiving a gift of love amid unseasonable frost. This is a holiday that reminds us to never let the miracle of spring, change, rebirth, beginnings go unnoticed. Lo, the day of days will be here again, and we will be free of winter's bond and pain. But we can't rush nature, or the celebration, or the passage of time. We cannot peel the days down and back and to the right just a little to pull out that which is not ready to be born. This Easter, we must rest easy in the anticipation. Value the time of quiet budding before blooming, silent sprouting before leafing out. Allow the season to unfold slowly within. Open your soul to the true mystery of renewal and rebirth. For life is a precious gift we will not, cannot receive again. Easter is an exercise in letting go. It's an acknowledgement that spring comes with brilliant, flamboyant fanfare, but at that same season that bursts with life can't be separated from the death that precedes it and the death that will follow it. Easter is a reminder that life is precious and fragile, beautiful and impermanent. like an eggshell, like a nest we settle into for a while and then leave when it is no longer of use. But Easter is much more than a celebration of life, much more. It is largely a celebration of love, a reminder that love is a gift of immense proportions, a gift so glorious, so full of grace, so undying, that if we have shared it for even so fleeting a moment as the time it takes for a pair of mallards to sanctify a pond, or for the moment it takes for dawn to come to a grieving woman who watches by a tomb, if we have shared love even for a brief moment, then love has touched us, and we will never be the same again. That is the message of Easter. So rest easy, my beloveds, in the anticipation. Rest easy in your heart's knowledge that you are, and you always have been, loved, lovable, and loving.